Girls and gals, so you ever have one of those days where nothing quite goes right for you? Well, today's my day. I've done this, I mean, as you can see, I've got my wonderful big fat ass there, but I've done this like 3 different ways, but no way actually ended up working in a manner that I could duplicate when I went to recording. The daily contract is activation 3. That makes enemies substantially more healthy. If you're a newer player, you may want to try and avoid doing that in addition to your 8, but I think you're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in this. So, the group I'm going to be going in with is going to be Zimmer and Texas, both with skill 2. Now, I'm not going to say you have to use Zimmer. In fact, I'm not even going to tell you that yeah. So, like, you could use Scavengers. Just stick to, like, a high damage Vanguard and you should be okay. Scavenger is probably better than Zimmer in the grand scheme of things. Texas helps because, as I say, high damage Vanguard is what you're after, but you want a standard Vanguard because they need to block 2 enemies. Outside of that, Elysium, now you can use skill 1 or skill 2. I'm using skill 1 because I don't feel the need to have skill 2. Elysium we're using because sniper operators have -2 deployment point cost and attack speed when Elysium skill is active. Again, you can use Myrtle, but Elysium's going to make your life easier. Promenix with her second skill, which is defense and resistance debuff for enemies. You can probably get away with some of the other hexes, but I think Promenix will probably do the best for you in this, just because things are so healthy, and there's not really a way to get rid of health, but you can, mitigate things, defense as best you can. 2 snipers. I've got Archetto because she is a good 6-star. I suppose you can call her a split shot sniper, and Blue Poison, who, as you all know, I suggest everybody use all the time. I have Telopsis. Again, increases SP recovery of all allies. Archetto does have her own, but the problem is, it's, not the best, and doesn't affect the skill it only affects her own skill, I should say, sorry. It does not affect Blue Poison's skill, unless you're using skill 1, which we're not. Silence. Now, again, you don't need to use Silence, I'll be dead honest. I use Silence as my go-to. Medical Drone is nice, but if you really want to use, I don't know, Suzero, probably use Suzero if you're going to use a 4-star operator. And again, you don't have to use Telopsis. I'm not going to tell you have to. It's nice to, but you can actually drop down to Perfumer if you want. It'll do the exact same thing. It's not going to make a damn difference. Gummy, so a healing defender, your best healing defender if you can. I like using Gummy because she just tops herself up. Whereas most of the others, I think actually all of the others, won't heal themselves back up until they drop below 50% health. In my opinion, in this scenario, you don't want that. Now, Norcorn is sort of a floater. You don't have to use Norcorn unless your damage is particularly low, in which case you'll need him to act as a sort of midpoint in between gravel deploys, just to bait bombs from the artillery drone. If you do have high damage, I would actually probably suggest just bring in... it's hard to say. Another sniper. It's another one of those kind of you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't things, because without guards, there's not a lot you can do. Gravel, as I said, so a fast redeploy to help bait bombs if your damage is low, or if something for whatever reason goes awry and the artillery drone doesn't get killed early on. And last but not least, Thermite, and that's going to guarantee that the artillery drone gets nuked. Wow, okay. Mouthfuls galore. So if this helps you out, gives you food for thought, whatever, please sub, helps me out, I do appreciate it. Let's get Elysium in first, right here, behind this shield guard. So we're going to ignore these shield guards. We're not going to worry about them because they've just got health out the backside. Scavenger. Elysium skill, and then we're going to put Texas in. Promenix. First sniper, Archetto up top. Second sniper down the bottom. Same place, directly opposite. So skill, skill. AoE healer up top, facing down, and your standard healer down the bottom facing up. That's our deploy. Our deploy is set. After this, we're just going to wait for Elysium. Again, there we go. And we're going to pop in our healing defender just here. So make sure that there's one free square every direction around her to avoid any AoE issues. Alright, fast forward this because now we're just waiting for the artillery drone. We are saving skills, so don't worry about all those skills that are popping up, because basically we want to blow everything on the artillery drone. Texas, on the other hand, we are reserving for drones in case they get a bit close, so then we just use Texas's skill to stun them. And up the top here, we're using Scavenger skill on these guys that come out, preferably the first one. Because we want to make sure that we get rid of those enemies as quickly as possible. Other than this, we're looking pretty good. So make sure that first enemy's dead, because as you can see, we have two enemies backed up here. Ideally, we don't want anything leaking through to Elysium, because we do want to use Elysium's skill at a very specific point, and yeah, it's not going to be great if something is only being blocked by Elysium. So here comes our Imperial Artillery Targeter, who should always be attacking Gummy. So once it's in range of Promenix's skill, so that's when it's over the top of Gummy. Once it moves over the top of Gummy, we're going to deploy Thermite, use Promenix's skill, use Elysium's skill, and then smash both of our snipers. And as you can see, that drone is melting. And that's ideally what we're after. After that, you can leave Elysium in if you like, and just cycle Elysium. If not, if you do find that that Imperial Artillery drone does not die, you want to get Elysium out, because the drone will target Elysium. So we've got no units left, so take Elysium out and deploy one of your fast redeploys. Again, same as Gummy, make sure there's space. So Gravel first. When Gravel dies, Norcorn should survive until Gravel can be cycled again. So, as I said, we're letting the shield guys go. We're not fussed by them. Maybe just use Perfumer's skill just to make sure that this guy doesn't do too much damage. I don't think he will, but you never know. It's a skill to get rid of him. Now, as I said, you can, of course, use Myrtle instead of Elysium. I'm not going to tell you you absolutely need to use him. It just makes life a little easier. Same thing with Blue Poison. I mean, you don't need to use Blue Poison. You can use, say, well, any of the standard snipers. Preferably stick to split shot snipers. Vermeil, for example. Vermeil will certainly do what you need it to do. Meteor with skill 2, just so she can hit multiple drones at once. So just for this last wave of drones, just sort of Blue Poison first, then Archetto, so skills are spaced out. I mean, as you can see, the skills work fine, and I probably should have used Elysium's skill, but it is what it is. a little bit of attack speed, whoop-de-doo. But if you are low on damage, that attack speed will most certainly help you out. So I shouldn't slag it, but I hope that helps, guys.